Welcome back to the 56th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new key legend, Mike Gordon.
Howdy. Tonight we've got Joker, Joker, Joker. Do you remember that? Do you remember that game show? Joker's Wild?
Oh, yes, I remember the Joker's Wild.
Yeah.
You pulled the little lever and the things
Yeah.
brought up cards or something.
Joker,
Yes,
Joker, Joker.
so I barely remember it, but I remember it.
And I
Wasn't it
think,
Winkle or something like that that hosted it? What's
yeah,
his
Wink
name?
Martindale passed away
Wink
just recently.
Martindale, that's it.
He just passed away recently, too. So, rest in peace, Mr. Joker. Yeah, that's how it's kind of, I don't know. I was introduced to the Joker. I think I was introduced to the Joker as a character first before I saw that show, but man, that rings in my head a lot of times when I see the Joker or read a Joker story, that Joker, Joker, Joker thing from that game show.
All right, so this is Batman Season 2, Episode 21, The Impractical Joker. Episode aired Wednesday, November 16th, 1966, directed by James B. Clark, and written by Jay Thompson and Charles Hoffman.
Now, Jay Thompson or the writer is Jay Thompson, right? Yeah, he wrote the original script, and original story, but then my understanding is that it was heavily edited by new script editor Charles Hoffman, who took over for script editing duties when Lorenzo Semple Jr. left. So Charles Hoffman made a lot of changes to this script, from what I understand. I don't know the ins and outs of the particulars, so I'm kind of looking into that for when we review the second half of it. But if it does seem to be a bit uneven, it could be why. It's pretty, this is a pretty crazy one, but it's kind of hard to, you know, to categorize a Joker story as chaotic because that's what it's kind of supposed to be, right?
Yes.
So I guess better for that. But yeah, this one's really wacky. Did you remember this one at all?
I did not.
I remember certain elements of this one, and I think the second half will be a lot more familiar to me if it plays out the way I think it remembers that it does. But yeah, it's pretty kooky.
The Keyborn Bookstore. Joker searches through the books until he finds a paperback titled The Keys of the Kingdom, one of the most soul-searching novels of our time by A.J. Cronin. Joker rips the book apart while he is laughing. Next, Joker goes to the Keynote music shop. He searches through the records until he finds one titled You're the Key to My Heart. The Joker pulls the record from the sleeve and breaks it while he laughs. Finally, Joker goes to the Gotham City Key Club. He pulls a folder from the file cabinet that is labeled Key Club Membership, Confidential. Joker burns it with a lighter while he laughs. Strange things going on, Joker. What are you doing?
Strange things, but it reminds me of this is the first. Okay, so this is the first Joker story that we get second season. This is the first Joker story. This is the first time we're seeing the Joker since the movie. It's a big deal. At least it is a big deal for me. I've always found that the Joker episodes and the Joker in particular are a standout to me. Even though in this series he has some tough competition in terms of other rogues that are really fun to watch. We just saw the Penguin a little while ago, and then the first time we see Catwoman. She's making a series of burglaries that are cat related, and this sort of felt like that. Only obviously it's not cat related and it's not Catwoman. It's the Joker doing, but he's not doing jokey things. He's just doing, harmful things, misdemeanors really, with a sort of key theme to it, which we don't understand, but it really does kind of feel like that Catwoman thing again. At least that's what I got from it.
That didn't pop into my head, but now that you mention it, yeah, it does seem kind of like that. So, meanwhile, at stately Wayne Manor in Bruce's study, Bruce is helping Dick with the keynote of his geography paper when the bat phone rings. Commissioner Gordon informs Batman that it is the Joker. To the bat poles.
Hey, I like it here because Bruce actually gets up and goes and answers the phone. Doesn't have Alfred do it. Alfred offers. He's like, "Look, I can let them know that you're not really in the mood." And he's like, "No, I gotta take this." So he takes it. Because it is weird. I don't know if this is going to result in something in the end of the episode in the second half, but Bruce is like it's sort of like crime fighting is taking its toll on him. He's like, looks pretty weary and he's got a headache or something and he's thankful that there's a respite from all the crime fighting. Which is weird because he just went on vacation a few episodes ago. Of course, that got interrupted, so
Maybe it was that memorial campaign wore him out.
maybe it could be. The other thing that's weird about this is that so again, look at the polls, Bruce's is bigger, but also they're not marked.
I did not notice that.
So I think either Alfred's been cleaning them and he took the signs off. It's fortunate that they didn't just ride each other's pole, so to speak. Uh, I mean, without the signs there, how would they to know which is which, right? So,
Yeah, one's
but yeah,
bigger than the other. I'm
well,
sure
there is
by
that.
now they should know which they go to the same side every time. They should know it by now.
Yeah. So maybe they're just trying it out without the signs.
Who knows? Maybe Alfred's going to switch it up on and play a practical joke.
I would, you know what? We'll see. That'd be funny.
At police headquarters, Commissioner Gordon informs Batman that they are having the locks replaced in the building. When the new keys arrive, they find a skeleton key with a note on it. Latched or mastered, skeleton or passed, spot the Scot before you're outclassed. Is this a Riddler episode?
Yeah, they still haven't figured out the exact difference between the Joker and the Riddler stuff, but they're getting there.
Batman notes that all the terms refer to keys. Chief O'Hara points out it's just like the Key Club or Keystone Building. Batman's seventh sense is telling him that this particular Scot refers to billionaire Angus Ferguson, the famous Scottish collector that is currently visiting Gotham City.
A lot of brain power in that room, and it takes a long time before they figure out that these are all key related. I mean, we kind of got that right in the beginning, right? Like there was like we kind of saw that, right?
Yeah, it was pretty obvious to the audience.
Yeah. Joker knows who he's dealing with though, because he knows he has to do this many things in order for somebody to actually get what he's doing.
Commissioner Gordon adds that Mr. Ferguson is having a private showing of his fabulous collection of keys. Holy key ring! Robin wants Robin wants there I wrote it wrong again. Robin wants to know where this showing is. Commissioner Gordon informs the dynamic duo that the showing is at his private suite in Gotham Towers. Batman suggests to Robin that they take a look at his fabulous collection of keys.
It's so as I was watching this, my partner Michelle walked into the room and she walked in the room right when the Gordon was talking about this guy and his fabulous collection of keys. And Michelle just kind of looked at me like, "What?" And then Robin said, "Who has a fabulous collection of keys?" And Michelle was like, "That's what I want to know."
That's
Robin
funny.
asking the important questions. Uh, whereas, like, I'm so enamored with this show, and I'm in so like enveloped by this show when I watch it. I didn't even question it. I was just like, yeah, of course he does. Of course he has a fabulous collection of keys. Who wouldn't in this Gotham? That makes total sense to me.
At his hideout, Joker finishes cutting a key that opens a little black box with blinking lights. Excited, Joker tells his two henchmen and his girl Cornelia that his little black box and key could be the downfall of Batman and Robin. When the Joker returns, he will have the jeweled key of Kane Cardian.
Sure. I don't want to talk about the key right now. We'll talk about Cornelia. Let's talk about Cornelia.
Yes, because before you even mention it, did you notice that Cornelia's outfit looks a lot like Batgirl's uniform, minus the sleeves, cape, belt, and bat symbol?
Not only that, but she's also it is we brought this up earlier this season or last season and season at the end of last season, season one, episodes 23 and 24, the Riddler two-parter with the Ring of Wax and Give him the Axe. Linda Gay Scott wears a very similar outfit. She's wearing a purple sort of bodysuit that is very much like a purple version of what Catwoman wears, or what later Batgirl would wear. So yeah, this does seem like another try on for maybe how that would look. I don't know, but yeah, I was like, man, I've seen her before, and I hadn't seen the actress before, although Linda Gay Scott is blonde as well, and but no, this is Kathy Kirsch's first appearance on this series. She did a lot of guest appearances on TV shows back in the 60s. That seems to be the extent of her career. She made quite an impression, though, especially on Burt Ward, because Burt Ward left his first wife and then later married Kathy Kirsch. So, uh,
Okay.
yeah, they got married like the following February. So like they got married pretty quickly. Only lasted a couple years. I think it only lasted till like the I don't even know if it lasted into the 70s. But yeah, they were but Bert was very much like in enamored with Kathy. And
Now,
that's
did
really
you know?
like, other than that, that's really like her. I mean, after she got a divorce from Burt Ward, she got a business license and then didn't really work in the industry anymore. So yeah, she's still alive. She's still around. I don't know if she does appearances or anything like that. I've never really seen her at an appearance, but maybe she does them on the West Coast or something. I don't know, but yeah, so she's still around and is an ex Burt Ward,
Now,
ex
did you
Mrs.
notice she
Ward.
was also wearing key earrings?
Yes, yes. Well, that's on brand, right? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
the whole thing, everything is key related. So,
After meeting with Mr. Ferguson, Batman and Robin browse his collection of keys. The dyna- the dynamic duo comes across the key to the Bastille cell block in which the man in the iron mask was imprisoned. Next, Batman and Robin check out the jewel key of Kane Cardian, which is displayed behind a black curtain. Holy keyhole! The Joker appears. Joker opens his black box. Batman and Robin are frozen in place as the Joker steals the key. At Commissioner Gordon's office, Mr. Fergan threatens to sue the city for $8,523 and a 3-penny bit if his key is not returned at once. He calls Batman and Robin mutton heads. I had to laugh at that.
and after he offered them a a what? I can't pronounce it. Sorry, he offered them a drink. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, a drink. One that Batman points out is for leaving or something.
Traditionally, it's a parting gift. So yeah, that's when Robin says like, yeah, is he trying to get rid of us? But I don't think he's in on it here. He just seems to be a victim.
Yep. Back at Wayne Manor in Bruce's study, Bruce, Dick, and Alfred watch the evening news as they report about Joker's new invention that can render Batman and Robin powerless. Bruce tells Dick it's about time for the Green Hornet. Dick gets up and changes the channel, but instead of the Green Hornet, they get the clown prince of crime, the Joker.
Okay,
I thought,
so Bruce and Dick are going to watch the Green Hornet television show. They've already met the Green Hornet. in one of their window shots where the guest comes through the window, and they don't seem to be the same character. And we haven't even gotten to the Green Hornet crossover yet. So, but yeah, it is kind of a, you know, cheap plug to put in the other show.
Yes, they're really trying to cross promote, aren't they?
Yep. Yep.
Citizens Citizens of Gotham City, this is the Joker, coming to you through your key station by his high-powered jamming system and particularly addressing Batman wherever you are. Foiled, failed, frustrated, and so defenseless. I will even give you a clue to my next crime. Don't give a hoot for the hobnailed, but look for a bow on the bobtail. Bruce and Dick go to the Batcave via the Bat Poles. Batman tells Robin that when the Joker was younger, he was a well-known hypnotist.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Kind of just throws that out there that before he became a criminal, the Joker used to be a professional hypnotist. I'm like, okay. Now, we've seen a lot of different origin stories for the Joker. And at this point in the Joker's history in the comics, they have offered no origin for him. He is just a evil clown figure. So I don't even think by this point it's even the Red Hood stuff that he was used to be the Red Hood. I don't even think that's been uh talked about yet in the comics. I could be wrong about that, but in any case, it's his origin is really loose. But the TV series is just making stuff up here.
Yep.
There's nothing to suggest that he was a professional hypnotist in the comics ever. And he also seems to be pretty handy with technology and devices because he's like creating this device here. So I give the Joker props here. I mean, he looks like he's more than able-bodied. He's not just a lunatic.
While trying to figure out Joker's clue, Batman realizes that the loop of a key, the handle, is also called a bow. The lynx is the lynx is a bobtailed species of wildcat with a valuable fur. Robin realizes the Joker must have the key to Francine's Fanny Spur Salon.
Right. And they do this without the help. They're right around the Bat computers, but they're bouncing things off each other, which I liked. We've talked about how they're so involved with the Bat computer this season. There's a couple scenes here in the Bat Cave in this episode, and one of which is with their bouncing ideas of another, and another one is actually they do use the computer a little bit for some help, but that seems secondary to them actually trying to do the detective work themselves. And granted, it doesn't make any sense logically, but still, I like the fact that they're doing it, without the use of the computer heavily so much.
At the Fur Salon, Cornelia, if I could say her name, Cornelia is trying on a fur coat while Joker brags about entering through the manager's private entrance and bypassing the alarm. Suddenly, Batman and Robin get the jump on Joker. Joker uses his little black box, but it does not work on the Cape Crusaders. Robin states they took their counter hypnotic bat pellets from their bat capsule dispensary.
Yeah, that's what that was kind of alluded to when they went to before they went to take off. Batman said, "But first we have to prepare in a most unorthodox way or something like that." He's like, "We have to prepare in a way like so." So he definitely let Robin in on the preparation this time. Sometimes he's not good about that, but this time he actually let him know. He's not sitting there just drinking buttermilk.
or having acid proof suits and not telling them.
Exactly, exactly. He's finally like saying, "Hey, look, this is what's going on." So,
Joker shouts for his henchmen Latch and Bolt, and a fight ensues. During the fight, Joker's little black box gets damaged. Joker and Cornelia get away. I wanted to ask you, did you notice that Cesar Romero had a stunt double during this fight scene?
Gee, was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Doesn't
Yes,
everybody?
it was super obvious.
I like the fact that he's like, he spends most of his time sneaking in the background. Like he's like trying to get away or trying to do this or that or the other thing. So I like, I thought that was pretty fun. Um, and yeah, that device doesn't just get, damaged. It gets wrecked. Like there's no putting Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Nope. Back at the Batcave, Alfred suggests that maybe the Joker is using a pseudonym. Batman feeds the phone book into the Bat computer.
Okay,
The
this makes no sense. This is the part where they use the computer and it doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm laughing because I can still see the scene in my mind. They take this big huge phone book and just insert it into this freaking slot.
That's right. That's all they do is they just shove it
Thunk.
in a drawer, in the computer drawer. Because that's how computers work.
Yep. The computer prints out a list of names. They settle on Clovier Unk. The Clovier is the keyboard of an organ. The Unk is a sacred Egyptian cross symbolizing the key of life. The dynamic duo chooses this address. Batman and Robin arrive at the address and scale the outside of the building with their batarang and rope. Sam Stone from Felony Squad asks Batman about his daily workout. Batman answers that a crime fighter must stay in shape. Sam tells Batman that he's not invading their territory, but tracking down a clue incognito. Batman states if Sam needs help, he can contact them through Commissioner Gordon.
Did uh did you recognize Howard Duff as Sam Stone?
I did not,
Did you
because I'm
even
not familiar.
I was gonna say, do you even know what the felony squad is?
No, I don't.
No,
I
nobody.
looked it
No,
up.
no, nobody does. Nobody does. Like this show like came and went. Howard Duff had a big career as doing like a lot of stuff. He played a lot of heroes and a lot of stuff and yeah, never really made it big, I don't think. But yeah, he had a series for a while. Um, and he worked steadily. I don't want to give him, I don't want to diss him or anything because he did work pretty steadily until his passing in 1990. But he was doing stuff in up until then, really. Some people remember him from like he appeared in Knots Landing a lot, as well as he's just was a fixture on TV as doing characters all the time. So, but he never really had, I don't think he had a really good run like um with a hit series or anything like that. So, this is a second series in the same episode that Batman failed to help save. Because Green Hornet didn't last very long either. And I don't want to like go too far ahead of ourselves, but the writing's on the wall for this show too. So,
Batman and Robin enter through the window to find Cornelia checking herself out in the mirror. She tells Batman and Robin that her uncle is in the library. Cornelia leads Batman and Robin into another room. Cornelia tells them that the library is in the cellar and presses a button on the wall. The floor opens underneath the dynamic duo and they slide into the cellar where Latch and Bolt are waiting with boxes.
I will say Kathy Kirsch, while she does really great job filling out that suit, is very, very stiff as an actress. Like she is looks like she's just caught in headlights, sort of looking at the script as she or cue cards or something as she's reading. Yeah, she's not great in this role. So, no offense to Burt Ward, because it looks like, I can understand why he would be smitten by her, but not because of her acting.
Captured, Batman is put into a machine to make duplicate keys while Robin is put into a wax spray chamber. Is there any key to the solution of this monstrous scheme? Will Batman really be Jeez, I can't even say the word. Will Batman really be skeletonized and Robin waxed and then notched? Keep keen-edged, keen-witted, and keep watching. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
It is a pretty great cliffhanger, and the fact that they're separated with different like things going after them, and both of which are quite gruesome, by the way. Um, it is pretty effective. I think I have no idea how they're gonna you get out of this. But yeah, it's pretty like it's pretty harrowing. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want to face either one of those death traps.
Well, probably the key to them getting out is probably in their bat belts.
Probably. Although, Batman's got to get to his. So
That's
I don't
true.
know. But no, it's good to see Cesar Romero back. He's excellent. I think this is actually a strong outing for him. I like the fact that, even though yes, they give him some of the Riddler's sort of characteristics, certainly in terms of, we're used to the Riddler having being fixated on something, like the tomb of the Incas. um, and then just trying to get Batman out of the way so he can do this, go after this goal. And so that seems like this Joker, like this story seems like it's written like a Riddler story in terms of having him go up against something, or have him keyed in on something.
Well, let me
And
ask you this. Do you think they originally wrote this for Riddler and then had to switch it up?
I haven't seen anything to suggest that. Like I said, I do know that uh, that Jay Thompson wrote the first draft, and then Charles Hoffman came in and changed things around. But I don't know, like I said, exactly how that worked. Charles Hoffman also worked on the Green Hornet, by the way. So um,
Which is probably why we have Green Hornet references in this episode.
maybe. Uh, so yeah, I guess we'll see in the second half if it comes together. But it's weird because the aspect of this that I remember from the second half has nothing to do with anything that we just saw in the first half. So I'm actually kind of I don't know if I'm misremembering, or if it's going to come together, or if it's just going to be a mess. So we'll see. But I'll be curious. But like I said, I'm glad that the Joker's back. Like I said, I think despite the fact that it has similar storylines and characteristics to a Riddler story, I think the one Cesar Romero as the Joker makes it different. Because Cesar Romero he's not playing the Riddler. He's not trying to be a Frank Gorshin. He's just trying to be the best Joker he can. I see how I'm slipped up. He's trying to be the best Joker he can, and he's doing a really good job. I think when I think of the Joker, his laughing, his craziness, but also the fact that he's got some intelligence behind those eyes, this is the one I think of. So I think he's doing a really good job here, and he pulls this episode through, even though, like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and we're kind of used to that. It's Gotham, it's Batman, it's camp. It's not going to supposed to make a lot of sense, but but having someone like Cesar Romero, like I said, just command every room that he's in, every scene that he's in, just I think is awesome.
From what I gather, then the key to understanding this episode is in the second part.
We shall see. We shall we shall unlock the door and see.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. Do you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. I don't know if I got a chance to shout out this. I think I might have, but maybe not. So, but a reminder never hurts is that I've got a new show that I'm doing among all the other crazy shows that I do. But this one is actually more involved with my publishing business and specifically New Legend, which I put out books and comics and whatnot. But we've actually created a show on YouTube called the New Legend Lounge, and we've had a soft launch. We haven't really like put ourselves out there yet because we're just sort of getting material and getting content together. But we put out 3 episodes already. Episodes on the writing process, where ideas come from, the sort of the goal of the New Legend Lounge vidcast is to have candid conversations with creators, and also at various times promote New Legend projects that are coming out. So to that end, we've talked to some creators. They work sort of like panels do if you were to go to a convention. And the first episode is all about where ideas come from. We talked to some writers about where they get their ideas from and how that works and how do you decide what ideas to go forward with. On the second episode, we had some different writers on and we talked about the process of selling your books to the readers. So in the first episode, we start at the beginning of the process. Second episode, towards the end of the process, although that's a never-ending battle as far as how to sell your books to market yourself and all that. And then the third episode, we just had fun. We just had a couple of folks on, and we talked about we did a preview of the summer movie season in the box office and what our predictions were as who's going to win the summer and how what movies we're looking forward to. And it was great to have a couple folks on there, one of which was Ashley Pauls, who I know you know from the network. She used to be on those episodes that we used to do on Earth Station One. So if you like that sort of thing, if you like productions, or you like predictions about summer box office, or you like just New Legend stuff, or want to see what we come up with when we're talking to creators about the processes that of how they go about doing things. Check out New Legend Lounge, which is, like I said, available on YouTube. You can find it same place you can find BatChums on YouTube, as well as we'll have links to it in our show notes.
I can tell you I watched episode 3 first because I was interested in seeing what you guys said about movies coming out. Of course, the one I'm looking forward to the most is the Superman movie.
Yes,
Of course.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, DC is represented this summer.
Yes. And I think my second movie I'm looking forward to is the Fantastic Four. So I
Yeah.
was I was very interested in seeing what you guys had to say about the movies coming out this summer. It was great to see Ashley Pauls because I hadn't seen her for quite a while. So, I always like to get her takes on movies and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. She's been really busy with she has 2 kids now, and that keeps her pretty busy, but she's starting to get back into doing more creative projects and more reviews type things. So she was on our show, which I was glad for. I was also on an episode of Earth Station Who that she appeared in recently. So look for that if that hasn't been released already. And she talked to us joined us for to review a new episode of Doctor Who that's on Disney Plus. And yeah, I've talked to her about some other projects too. So yeah, so if you're a fan of Ashley, so am I.
so and we've had her on Earth Station DCU before.
True.
So hopefully we can get her on for the Superman movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. You might want to ask soon. So
Yes. Ask her soon. And I probably can get a BatChum on there too.
maybe. I mean, you always have a bat chum on your show.
That is true. And then of course I haven't got to the second episode, but I did watch most of the first episode. I still have a few minutes to finish. Ran out of time when I was watching it the other day, but it was nice to see the award-winning Bobby Nash because I hadn't seen him for a while either. So,
Well, we're reintroducing you to old friends, it seems like. And if that's what you get out of our show, so much the better as well.
and good conversation.
That's the goal.
All right, and for my shout out, I'm going to shout out about the Bat Chums Patreon because the Earth Station DCU Bat Patreon is up and running. Earth
Woohoo!
Station DCU is reviewing Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run. Right now, we're releasing episodes on Green Lantern Rebirth. And then the BatChums just released their first episode of Cape Crusader. So that's exciting too.
That's very exciting. And thanks for your work on putting all that together because I know that we recorded those episodes a little while ago, but still had a lot of fun reviewing all the episodes of Cape Crusader on Amazon. If people haven't checked out that series, I strongly recommend. I don't think enough people are talking about it or have talked about it, so I don't know how well it really did. I think we're getting a second season, but I don't know that for sure. But definitely, check those episodes out if you haven't already. And then we are happy to help you chat about them on our Patreon. So
Yeah, I know. I've been editing them. We had some good conversations about them. So
they were good.
it's been
I
nice
watched
for me to revisit them, just
yeah,
editing them.
I watched I've watched each one of those episodes at least three, sometimes four times. And getting ready for not just the show, but our podcast about it or whatever, but just because I enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend people check it out. And for all the people who support us on Patreon, thank you so much.
Yes, we appreciate it.
If there's other things you'd like to see us do on Patreon that you would be willing to, help support us, let us know because we're open to different ideas. After we finish up with Cape Crusader, what else do you want to see us review? We'll talk about all things Batman.
All right. If you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line 317-455-8411. Leave us a message, text us, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. All right. You ready to get out of here, Batchum?
Bat chums are ready to move out.
Atomic batteries the power, turbines the speed. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Don't worry, the joke is once again on us because the worst is yet to come.